Right, we're going to go ahead and get started with our winning crew press conference here at Michigan International Speedway following the 45th Annual Pure Michigan 400. We'll start with Crew Chief Alan Gustafson. Alan, this is Gordon's third victory here at Michigan and third victory in 2014. He's made several comments throughout the weekend that everything just seems to be coming together for you guys this year. Talk a little bit about where you are in the season and this win here today.
Yeah, I think the team's doing a phenomenal job, and tons of hard work and tons of effort, and I felt like we've been close all year long. We've had really fast cars, and we've seemed to be a little short, and we've worked hard on overcoming those things and improving the areas that we need to improve on, and the guys are doing a great job with that and putting a lot of effort into it, and it's paying off, and Jeff's doing a phenomenal job, and it's all working. So it's not something that's happened overnight. I think it's something that's culminated over a long period of time, but it's all due to the hard work of the guys on our team and everybody at Hendrick Motorsports. These engines, the cars, everything. Everybody's working, very dedicated and very have a really great direction on moving forward. So really proud of them and just happy to be a part of it.
Also joining us is team owner Rick Hendrick. Rick, obviously Gordon's win here today is huge for you guys, but he is now leading the point standings by 3 points over another Hendrick teammate, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Just talk a little bit about this win here today and the two leading the points right now.
Well, it's we love to win here at Michigan. I like to win everywhere, but because I'm a General Motors dealer and having the Chevrolet folks here today, it's a big win for us. And we had a great year. The guys, Alan's just done a super job. Jeff is just really on a roll, and I hate we had the battery that shorted out on him at Watkins Glen, because he was really strong there too. So I think all of our teams are running well, and but this is a big win. It's just great to see Jeff so happy. I mean, he's like a little kid again. So I think it's going to be really important for the momentum he's carrying right now into the chase. So we're excited.
Okay, we'll take questions for Alan and Rick. We'll start over here with Mike. Go ahead.
Rick, I know that Jeff has done pretty much everything, 91 Cup victories and 4 championships. But have you ever seen him drive more consistently and better and more focused?
No, I think what I see now with Jeff today is how smart he is. If someone gets in front of him or is trying to block him like they did today, instead of pushing the envelope like maybe he did in the early years, he'll just back off and let them use their stuff up, and then he'll pass them. And you just don't see him make any mistakes. And I think all of his years of experience is paying off for him right now, because everybody when you've got the fastest car, everybody races you extremely hard, and they know they got to get you on the restart, because if they can do that, then probably they can pull away. But I've never seen him with just enough aggressiveness, and when he drove down in the corner on the quarter panel at 210, that's what the young Jeff Gordon did. But he made so many moves today in that race that showed his patience and knowing he had the car, and Alan was doing a great job of telling him, giving him his lap times and telling him, hey, just let him get in single file, come off at 2, get behind them, and you'll get them, and it was working all day.
Okay, we'll take our next question from Chris, then go to Bob.
Chris Knight, CatchMess.com. Alan, this is a pretty stout car that you guys keep bringing back to the track. Is this a preview of the kind of cars you guys are going to bring to the chase, and then where are you going to run this car next?
Yeah, this is a great car. I'm really proud of this car. It's a huge amount of effort went into this piece for Indianapolis, and we used all of our resources at Hendrick Motorsports and developed some new technologies and input them into this car, and it's paid off. It was not an easy thing to build, but the car is an extreme amount of performance. So yeah, this was this is the best we've got. It's the latest and greatest, but we're going to try to improve. We know we've got stiff competition. We know that there's a lot of really good teams out there, and we've got to keep getting better and better. But this car is definitely a step in the right direction for sure. Where we're going to run it next, I'm not really sure. I'd have to look at the schedule. We're pretty well slated out for the chase. and I know it's in there. We just got to know where. So the guys were joking running at Homestead, so we'll see. We'll see how it all works out.
Okay, go ahead with your question, Bob.
About Parker Sporting News. Rick, this team was pretty strong for the first half of the season, but they look like they've even taken a step up in the last month with 2 wins and 2 poles. I mean, anything that you see that they're just doing so kind of right now?
You know, I think when you get a little momentum, you get it just, and I can't really explain it. I've seen it with Jimmy, I've seen it with Dale, and I've seen it with Jeff, and it's got that real stride, and he's excited to get to the track. And he and Alan had just gotten closer and closer, and some of the new stuff that Alan brought here a few weeks ago to Indy, and Jeff's just been running so well. We haven't run that well as an organization. We haven't finished that well at Watkins Glen, and then to go up there and sit on the pole and to lead the race. I mean, again, it's a combination of a lot of things. The engine guys are working really hard, but I think the chemistry between Alan and Jeff it's almost like Alan anticipates what Jeff needs, and the way he calls the race and the way they work together. I mean, they're in the best stride they've had since they've been together, just listening to them. And Alan is so calm, anticipating he knows what Jeff wants, and he knows what he likes in the car. And no matter what the rest of the teams are doing, he's making those adjustments that he knows will work for Jeff. So the chemistry is the best I've ever seen.
Okay, we'll go upstairs to the press box for a couple of questions.
Wolfgang Munzer from Germany, Rennsport Press Agency. One question for Alan Gustafson. In Europe, as you maybe know, wind tunnel stuff and testing is a very important part in any kind of racing. Can you give an update? How important is wind tunnel testing and aero package in Sprint Cup? And in case you will do wind tunnel testing regularly, which tunnel are you using?
Yeah, I mean, it's aerodynamics is a huge part of really any motorsport, and the faster the track, the more influence aerodynamics will have on the cars. So we spend a lot of time and effort with the aerodynamics on our car, and work closely with General Motors and Chevrolet, and they do a great job supporting us. And it's a huge part of it, especially at a place like Michigan, when the average qualifying speed is 206 miles an hour. It's extremely important part of what we do. So we use both wind tunnels that are basically in the Charlotte area. We use Aerodyne, we use wind shear. I think that's pretty common for most of the stock car teams, and we've got a good group back at HMS that supports us really well with a lot of information that we can apply to the track.
Dave Hackenberg, Toledo Blade for Rick, please. You talked about, Jeff's smarter guy, more patient, all that, but the last restart was really that not the old Jeff Gordon just saying, I got the best car, so I'm going to stand on the gas and prove it?
Oh yeah, when you get to 10 to go, and or when he can see it, then he's going to take it from you, and that was a heck of a move that he put on him and down in one. And sometimes he won't show that if it's the middle of the race, but that looked like the Jeff Gordon of 12 years ago or whatever. And again, I think experience is playing a big role, and he has shown that he hadn't lost anything. I think if anything, you see so many of these guys that are really fast make mistakes. They get loose, they get into the wall, they'll speed, they'll do things that cost them an opportunity to win a race. But when it chips it down and it's time to get the flag, man, I put my money on him every time.
Okay, we'll come back downstairs. We'll take one from Jerry, then Zach.
Jerry Bunkowski, NBCSports.com. Rick, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I'm going to do it. Jeff and Jimmy have meant so much to you in your career as an owner. Who would you pick to win this year? Who would you favor? Do you want to see Jeff do it and get number 5, or Jimmy get number 7?
You really think I'll answer that? I mean,
Nice try.
I don't look. I don't have any favorites. I mean, I would love to see Dale get his first championship. I'd love to see Jimmy get number 7. I'd love to see Jeff get number 5. But the thing I'm so proud of with the whole group, I worry. You know, I feel we've run 1, 2, 3 in the points, and before we went to that race, I would get them together and say, listen, I want you guys to know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to the loser first. I'm going to come to victory lane, but I don't want the guys that got beat to think I'm over here celebrating. I care about them all, and I feel like we give them the best equipment. There's reasons I'd like for each one of them to win it, but you know, let the best man that does the best job end up with the trophy.
We'll go to Zach now, and then Jay.
Zach Albert, NASCAR.com. This is for Alan. Lots of gamesmanship in those last few late race restarts. It seemed like just between Jeff and Joey, everybody was trying to get just every little competitive advantage that they could. From your perspective, you know, one side take too much than the other. It seemed like both had a case for the other laying back on those restarts.
Yeah, I don't have a great perspective of it. To see, you know, personally, I'm kind of facing the cars. It's tough for me to see that restart zone. From what I can tell on TV, you know, really the best view I had of it was, I think, out of the front of Kevin's car when he was behind Joey. So that's really what I used. And then I was listening to the 22 and kind of knew what was going on. But, you know, I don't feel like from what I saw that anybody overstepped any boundaries, and I don't think that there was anything that wasn't that went on that doesn't go on every week. And I think we work so hard to win these races, and restarts are such a big part of them. And if you can get clear, you're probably going to win the race. So is Joey maybe not maintaining his speed consistently? You know, probably not. Do I blame him? No, I don't blame him. It was Jeff, you know, making sure that Joey didn't break his momentum. Yes. Do I blame him? No. Like, you know, they're trying to win. I don't feel like either one of them crossed the line. From what I could see, like I said, I don't have a great perspective on it. But, you know, I really enjoyed the race, to be honest with you. I thought that was, you know, great racing, and I thought that that's how you race hard. I thought the two of those guys did everything they could do, including Kurt. You know, and Kurt went over the edge. Those guys did everything they could do with their cars to win that race, and that's what this is about. This is what the emphasis is about on the sport, and I thought it was on display today, and I thought all those guys should be proud of that effort.
Okay, we'll take our next question from Jay.
Jay Pennell with Fox Sports. This is for Rick. Just talking about the 48 team, they've had a string of bad luck over the last few weeks. That continued today, but they were able to kind of overcome that and score a top 10 finish. Just talk about what that means for that organization.
Well, they have had a rough stretch. He had it last year, though. Excuse me, but I think that what they show is they can battle back and you know, figure out a way not to lose with the shifter broken in the car, not to lose laps. Then Chad focuses on trying to get him back on the lead lap, and then get him in position with some tires at the end of the race to maybe even get a top 5. And I think that's just, you know, calling a great race and Jimmy not giving up. And you know, hopefully we have all the bad luck behind us now, and they'll be able to go to the next race feeling great. But we got some good races for them coming up, and you know, if we got to have some things like that happen, I'd rather see them happen now than in the chase.
Okay, we'll take another question over here to the left. Mike.
Rick, you've encountered much tragedy in your life as well as success. Have you been able to talk to Tony Stewart this week?
I talked to Eddie Jarvis. I didn't talk to Tony. I've stayed in touch with them, and I brought Regan up to the race in Watkins Glen, and you know, I don't, you know, I think they're making the best of the situation that they're in, and Tony's got a lot of good folks around him, and I've told them I'm there if they need me, and but you know, I haven't talked to him.
Do we have any final questions? Our race winner is about 4 minutes away. Any final questions for these two? Okay.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. on another note, all right, we will continue our winning team press conference here at Michigan International Speedway. We're now joined by race winner Jeff Gordon, driver of the number 24 Exalta Chevrolet. This is his third victory in 2014, third victory here at Michigan, and 91st victory overall in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series victory. First of all, congratulations, Jeff. I know it's an exciting day for you, and we just heard from Rick and Alan. So talk a little bit about the race and your victory here today.
Oh, extremely exciting. You know, it wasn't an easy victory, even though we had a great race car. You know, those restarts are so crucial, but also intense here, you know, with the speeds that we're carrying. And, you know, just proud of the effort. I mean, it's just an awesome effort all day to stick with it and have good pit strategy, pit stops, and you know, be in that position there at the end to have a shot at it. And then, of course, as a driver, you know, especially somebody that's been getting beat up over the years about restarts, it's pretty nice to have you know, the last two wins come down to restarts. So it's just building all of our confidence in what we're doing and making these races a lot of fun to go to.
Okay, we'll open it up for questions for Jeff. Please raise your hand. We'll get a mic to you. Start over here with Mike.
Jeff, Rick said that he felt you were driving smarter than ever during your career, more consistently, smoothly, fast, etc. How do you see that, and how do you feel about your chances for the fifth championship?
Well, there's got to be some advantages to being 43 out there. I would hope, you know, being more patient and using your head a little bit more would be one of them. You know, I think that I've always felt like to be a top driver in this series, you got to balance that out with aggressiveness and you know, being smart and utilizing, you know, your equipment and making the most of it. And you know, right now I've got great race cars. That's obvious. I've got a great crew chief that believes in what I'm doing out there, and I believe in what he's doing and the engineers. So, you know, right now I feel like I'm driving smart, but also when it comes on these restarts, I feel like I'm confident in my car enough that I can put it in places that I've not been able to put it in the past and be a little bit more aggressive when it matters. So, yeah, I mean, certainly things are going well. There's no doubt about that, and I'm as shocked as anybody else.
Okay, we'll take our next question over to the right from Chris.
Jeff, Chris Knight, CatchUs.com. You said over the radio that you wanted to do a burnout for somebody. I'm just curious who that person was.
Yeah, I had a young lady that we do these VIP meet and greets at the start of my weekend, and there was a young lady who told me she'd be in turn 4. That was a part of that group that said, I'll be in turn 4 if you could do a burnout for me. So I went down there and did one.
Okay, any other questions?
I can get your name later if you want it.
Okay, go ahead. We'll take Bob. We'll get a mic to you. Hang on just a second.
Bob Parker, Sporting News. As strong as you were here back in June, it seems like you were stronger today, and it seems like the last 4 weeks this team has actually been stronger than it was earlier in the season. Is there something that you can point to for that?
Yeah, a lot of hard work. You know, I think that I feel like that Alan and the team, you know, ever since we learned about the ride height rules, you know, really went to work early on it, and I think they made some really good choices and decisions in the direction to go in. You know, that things you find in the wind tunnel and simulation, and you know, we got a smart group of guys. Hendrick has also done a great job with the engines and the cars, and you know, we just you know, we hit on something early, and we were strong. Like at California, for instance, we were really strong there, and ever since then, you know, they just are constantly gathering information and trying to improve and looking around the garage area and seeing what your competitors have as well, and you learn from them, you learn from what you're doing, and you try to apply them. And I think that the team definitely you know, has been constantly applying little things and little changes and little improvements to the car along the way, and you know, the setups have just really been complementing everything the last, I don't know, couple months. And when you have it, when things go well and you get better, then you keep going down that path. And I feel like we've started on a good path from the start of the season, and we continue to do that up to this point. I hope that and I think it will even continue, through the next 12 or 13 weeks.
Okay, we'll take our next question down here from Zach, then go up to the press box.
Yeah, Jeff, Zach Albert, NASCAR.com. I was just wondering if you could walk us through the late race battle, which was a whale of a battle with Joey. It seemed like there were some games being played on the restarts, but when you really needed it, the last one, it really stuck for you.
Yeah, I can't say there was really anything on that last restart because I don't know if NASCAR warned Joey or whatever, but we were, to his defense, these restart boxes, you used to have a line and then all the way to the start-finish line, and it was too big, and it was causing issues. Then they made the box this big, and I don't know about other drivers, but I know I've asked them to make it bigger because as the leader, the other cars around you can anticipate when you're going to take off. So, Joey, as we rolled up to some of the restarts, not that last one, but some of the other ones, as guys were starting to sort of anticipate it, he was slowing down. And when he slowed down, everybody got bottled up, and then he'd take off, and NASCAR warned him about it. And then that last one, I thought he had a good start, but I had a good one too. And I really think what happened to him on that last restart was Kevin was having some trouble getting going. And, this is a big, fast place, and there's a draft there. And my lane moved along as a group. And even though Joey got out there, he was sort of sitting on an island by himself, and we just kind of tracked him down, and I was able to get to his left rear. When I got to his left rear, it just drug him back and gave me a ton of momentum. I was able to shoot to the bottom and get by him. I thought it was over at that point. I really did. I thought, oh, man, we got the lead. It's over. But his car was just so strong. The way the front end turned into the corner for the first few laps, that's why he pulled away from me so much on restarts when he was out front. And when he was behind me, he just drove in there, and it stuck. And mine just didn't. I couldn't drive in as deep as he could. And he got to my left rear and got me loose. And that's when he got underneath me. And I thought it was over. I really did. My car got loose. I lost some momentum, and he got underneath me. But I think he must have wiggled a little bit too. And so I was able to sort of drag race him and get back to his right rear. And then Kevin came behind me, and we kind of went by him.
Okay, well, we'll go to the press box for a question.
Maybe not.
Okay. Any questions down here?
Jeff, you've always maintained that, restarts haven't really been one of the strongest parts of your game. Last couple of wins you've had at the Brickyard and Michigan, that's where you really have won the races. Are you just getting better with age, or how would you characterize it?
Well, it's when I look at the restarts, sometimes it's the lane that you're in. Sometimes it's, what kind of, did you spin the tires? And then a lot of it is just your car, and how well is your car sticking. And then there's the aggressiveness to it as well. I think Kurt Busch showed us what happens when you are too aggressive. And I think the time before, I had a good restart when I was inside of Joey, and he got on my door and got me real loose. So, sometimes they go your way and sometimes they don't. I feel like in the past when they haven't gone our way, some of it was me, not finding that clean air. Some of it was I just didn't feel confident in the car that it would stick in the traffic. But it makes a huge difference when you're on that front row. Even though if you're in second or in the inside lane and that's not preferred, you still have clean air getting to your car. And then it's all about not letting them get you 3 wide behind you. So all that matters to me is that we're timing it right when it counts. And I feel like all that comes from experience when you learn as you go. The double file restarts have not been there throughout my whole career. So, which in some ways I'm thankful, but others, it's something that I've had to adapt to and get better at, get more aggressive at. And luckily I've got cars this year that also are, doing what I need them to do on those restarts.
Okay, we're going to go back to the press box and try the mic again.
Wolfgang Munzer from Germany, Rennsport Press Agency. Jeff, you're very successful here at Michigan Speedway. Is there anything what you can explain? Why is it so magic that you have so relatively much wins here, and then for next weekend you go to another extreme oval, from a big oval or fast oval to a small one in Bristol. Is it difficult to adapt to that, to this both extreme differences in oval track racing?
Well, I like to go fast. And this place is really, really fast. You know, I'm excited because I get to go back to two of my favorite racetracks. You know, Michigan's always been one of my favorites, and I will say when they repaved it, you know, it didn't suit my style as much as the old pavement, but the cars have been getting so much better, and I feel like I've been getting more comfortable here that, you know, today I was able to drive this place the way I like to drive it, and you know, have success here again. So I've always loved the transitions that this track has. They're just nice and sweeping. Yeah, you carry a lot of speed, but you know, whatever it is about the way this track is shaped and the size has always just been something I've enjoyed. And then when you have a race car like that, it helps too. But then Bristol next week is, you know, complete opposite. You're right, but it's also to me a track that I love. I love the challenges of Bristol. You know, I love the input that I can give to the team to help influence the setup and the speed that we have. I love how you can search different lanes from the bottom to the middle to the top, and the close you know, proximity in battles that you have on the racetrack with one another, even though they're at low speed. So I'm pretty excited about Bristol as well.
Okay, any final questions down here before we let Jeff go? All right, Jeff, congratulations.
There's one.
Oh, sorry. Jerry.
Jerry Bunkowski, NBCSports.com. Jeff, when the Hendrick organization had the tragedy several years ago, you were very stoic. You were kind of almost like the figurehead, and you were very, you know, people look to you for leadership. Have you had a chance to talk to Tony? Have you had a chance, or if you haven't, what would you tell him in this very trying time?
Well, we luckily had you know, an incredible leader in Rick Hendrick, that, you know, to me he set the example for all of us, and I was just so motivated by his ability to go through something so tragic, lose family members, and yet be so appreciative of the people that work at Hendrick Motorsports and their efforts. And you know, you're always looking for something you know, to get you out of that, even though it takes time to grieve, and there's a period of time where that, you know, just needs to find a solution and a way for each and every person to go through it. I think at the same time, seeing the race team go and perform and win races and come together through a tough time was huge, you know, for all of us. And I think Rick played a bigger role than that than I did. But I have not spoke to Tony. You know, I've reached out to him through text, knowing that I'm not going to get a response, but just to let him know I was thinking about him. And I just can't imagine what he's going through. Can't imagine what the Ward family is going through. It's very, very difficult time. So I support Tony. You know, definitely support him, and wish I could pat him on the back, give him a hug, and talk with him. I'd love to.
Jeff, congratulations on your win today, and good luck the rest of the season. Thank you for your time.
Appreciate it.